What is going on, Raider Nation? It's JT coming at you with another episode of the Raider Cast, your podcast for everything silver and black. Today, I'm going to talk about just a few general topics of discussion that happened over the past few days. Stuff I wasn't able to get to or make a video about individually just because I've been hella busy with school. I'm trying to keep up with videos, but school comes first. Trying to be a good student. But yeah, first order of business is talking about Jonathan Hankins being traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 6th round pick, and we also give up a 7th round pick in 2024 draft. Basically a nothing pick. So it's pretty much just straight up Hankins for a 6th round pick. After the Darren Payne news that was coming out of Washington, where they want a day 2 pick, which is a 2nd to 3rd round pick for him, which I thought was a great deal considering how young he is, how good he is, and how much he could actually bring to the defense, especially up the middle and the interior D-line. I was thinking maybe, we sent out Hankins because we're making a move to not only clear up cap space, but to clear up room in the defensive tackle room. But upon further review, it's more of a move to get the rookies more used in games, which I'm excited for. I want to see more Matthew Butler. I want to see more of Neil Farrell Jr., especially if they're the future. I mean, at this point, we've seen what Thayer Munford has done. We've seen what Dylan Parham has done. Why not give them a chance on the other side of the trenches? Give them a chance to play. If they play as well as Dylan Parham and Thayer Munford have played so far and have that potential, I want to see more. I want to see him on the field. I want to see it. Farrell and Farrell. This is kind of confusing though. And Butler have both been playing sparingly. Usually one plays over the other and they flip-flop. At the beginning of the season, it was more of just they didn't play at all, either of them. But we've seen them in rotation more often. Matthew Butler was one of the reasons why we got that fumble for a score against the Broncos. Neil Farrell Jr. had a QB hit last week. Neil Farrell is much more a run stuffer, while Matthew Butler is much more a pass rusher. But I'm excited to see what they can do is if they can expand, both their roles, if they can become more a well-rounded, more dynamic player. We'll see what we get. They're both late roundish selections, like mid-late round selections. Obviously, Parham was our 3rd round pick. Our 4th round picks were Farrell and Zeus, and then we got in the 5th round we got Matthew Butler, and then later on we got Thayer Munford. So we built up. We really tried to build up in the trenches this season. We built up in the run game as well because we didn't know what the future held. So they're definitely tackling positions of need while also trying to get value and trying to really build up, like I said, the trenches. The trenches are the most important part of football to really build. And we had a really weak O-line last year, and they're looking excellent. Obviously not a top 10 unit, but top 5 in rushing, that's for sure. They're a mid-team at pass protection, which is all that we asked for. That's exactly what we needed, which is why our team is so successful. We weren't able to run it last year with a terrible run block unit. But now that we can run the ball, is making it a lot easier for the team as a whole to just play. If we can run the ball well, that means that we can pass better. And even if they're not that great at pass pro, we have the system in place where we can get the ball out quick, get it to our playmakers, let them get let them just get, a few yards at a time. And then we can also, end up, if they're, trying to figure out what they're doing, pass, run, quick play, we can end up getting those big plays open and, have the pressure off Derek Carr from the opposing D-line. But overall, very impressed with the O-line. So the D-line definitely needs to be fixed. Defensive tackle especially, very disappointing. Chandler Jones is starting to come alive a little bit. He got his first sack, which was great. Max Crosby obviously is a beast, but the main issue has always been the defensive tackle room. So we'll see if we get improvement from the rookies there, and I'm hoping we do. In terms of the rest of the team, I definitely think that we could also use some help in the corner back room. Could use some help in the DB room just in general. Our defense is clearly our weakest part overall. Stats wise, I think if you watch the games, you'll know that the defense really hasn't lost us a game yet. They really haven't, let us get blown out. They really haven't let us stay in the game. We've always been in the games. We have chances to win the games at the end with the offense on the field, and we don't succeed. So it's not as been totally on the defense, and the offense is getting better. Defense needs to make more splash plays, in my opinion, for us to really have success. To continue to test, just have a little bit better in the red zone too. We got one of our first red zone stops, or very few red zone stops last week. We need to be better on third down. I thought our third down defense was pretty solid at the beginning of the year, and it's starting to taper off a little bit. And I think it's just because of some injuries to big players. Missing Hobbs is huge, but I don't know how much. Just talking about, are we going to make any additions at the trade deadline? I don't know. Obviously, I don't have sources. I can only say or think about what information I actually am given by people who actually have sources, by what I notice, what I see around the league. Do I think it'd be a smart idea to get Darren Payne for a second day pick? Absolutely. Will it happen? Probably not. This current staff is not really into doing the whole trade midseason for a big player or get rid of those draft picks. I think they're really building towards the draft. They really want to get their guys in. Who knows if Darren Payne's really a fit? I think he could work. He's that type of player where I think he could go into any system and just do well. But, it's not. They have particular players they want. If they don't want them, then there's clearly a reason why. In our previous regime, you could definitely say that they're just idiots. There were some really bad moves that we've made, but we've never really been buyers or really that much of a sellers, big sellers or big buyers at the trade deadline, even before. And I don't expect that to change now. And if it does, that'd be great, especially if we get someone on the cheap. Like Robert Quinn going to the Eagles for a 4th round pick is massive. If we can convince Washington to give us Darren Payne for a 3rd round pick, I think we should do it. But in terms of, I think we have a ton of draft picks coming up. Even though they're not high draft picks, you can start packaging up those later draft picks with, if we want to move up in the 1st round. And if we are a later pick, if we do end up being a later pick in the 1st round and we want to move up, we can package our 1st and a 3rd and a 3rd and a 4th or a future 1st to move up in the draft depending on who we want to get. Building up draft picks, it's not always about who you can pick. It's about how much can you move up. Can you get people, not outside the draft and free agency, stuff like that. Obviously, I don't think we're going to, be using every single pick in the next draft. We have a lot of picks coming up, especially a lot of mid to late round picks. Like I said, you can package them to move up in the draft like we did this year. We moved up quite a few times, which I just think something they like to do. If they see someone that they want coming up in the draft and they think that they might not be there by the time we pick, they'll move up. They'll take, use those later round picks to move up. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I don't think we're really selling. I don't think we're really buying. Obviously, I'd be happy if we buy. I definitely don't think we're selling. There's really no one to sell at the moment. We're not in a situation where we need to sell. We're really in a good spot. In my opinion, we have a stretch of games that are winnable. We've been playing a really good game so far. So I don't think we're selling. If anything, we should buy. And if we're going to buy, it should be a defensive back or a defensive tackle. We don't really need anything else. I saw a lot of people talking about right tackle. No. We don't need a right tackle right now. We're okay. I think Darren Munford should be fine. Jermaine Lamar is fine. Our O-line, we just need them to gel. And as they gel, they'll get better. In all honesty, people have been really over-hating the O-line just in general. I think they're doing a very fine job. They're doing a very good job of what they do. So, anyway, I'm going to talk about injuries now. It's a long injury list this week, but a lot of it is illnesses. We have, I believe, 4 players out with an illness, so probably some sort of bug going around. And it's Cleveland Ferrell, Deshaun Bauer, Devontae Adams, Jonathan Abram. Not something I'm really worried about. I think they should be fine. Again, they just traveled to New Orleans. They have to stay, they might have just got something on the plane. They'll probably be fine by game day. I'm not worried about that. Other than that, the only do not participate that wasn't an illness or did not participate that wasn't an illness was Divine Diablo, who has a back/ankle injury. Everyone else was limited participation. So everyone else is Darren Waller. He's back, which is really big. DJ Turner, Hunter Renfro, Josh Jacobs, Mac Hollins, Jermaine Illuminor, Derek Carr, Jayon Brown. They're all limited. Looks like Jayon Brown's coming back this week, which is great. Darren Waller should be back this week as well. I think I've seen on Twitter that just people just saying this, that they expect him to be back. So overall, I think we're going to be just fine. If we end up missing Divine Diablo, we have Blake Martinez now. We have Jayon Brown coming back. So we should be fine overall at linebacker, even though we're not super great at it in general. But we should hopefully be okay. And who's to say he even stays out? Could be just he needed just an extra day of rest, which is fine. We have a long 2 weeks ahead of us being on the East Coast. We play New Orleans, obviously, this Sunday, and then next Sunday is Jacksonville, and they're not going back to Vegas in between. They're staying on the East Coast to practice and just to, stay on the East Coast time. There's no point going back and forth in, 2 weeks for no reason. So this is an important stretch of games. As long as our major players stay healthy, stay happy, and keep playing well, I think we'll be okay. Divine Diablo obviously hasn't been like a star or really, someone super major, but he has had impact on the field, whether good or bad. So missing him won't be a major issue as long as Jayon Brown is back as well. And then, of course, I hope he comes back sooner rather than later. And hopefully sooner is this week, but we'll see. So not much to report in terms of the injuries, though, because it's only the first day. And again, most of the did not participate were illnesses. So I think overall we're pretty healthy at the moment. Everyone's off IR that that was important to get back, like DJ Turner, Anthony Averett. Hopefully within another week, Anthony Averett should be better. But yeah, that's all I have to talk about for today. That's all the news and all the just things I wanted to talk about and get out there. If you enjoyed listening to me ramble for almost a little over 12 minutes now, like and subscribe. I try to put as many videos as I can during the week. I do a pregame show, which should be coming up on Saturday with NJ Raider Nation. A lot of fun, a good listen. I appreciate you guys showing all the love on the last one. I got over 70 views, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot to me. I'm almost at 200. I'm at 190 something now. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you guys. You know that. I love you guys. I love Raider Nation. And like I said, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts about, us being buyers or sellers at the trade deadline, which is November 1st. And I hope you all had an absolutely wonderful day today. And peace out, Raider Nation.